Hello, everyone. All right, if you're watching this, you're probably stuck at home right now doing whatever, and you probably honestly just about listened to every other talk show you can. So you decided to click on this random podcast looking thing, because why not? Well, I am very glad that you are here. I am your host, Jack Ryan, and this is the very first episode of my new talk show, The Jack Ryan Show. Alrighty, I do hope that you enjoyed that wonderful guitar playing by yours truly. And I am super excited to be bringing you this podcast every first and third Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock Pacific and 1 o'clock Eastern. And yes, I know, it is a Sunday when I am publishing this. But hey, I figured that in light of Rush Limbaugh's passing, I figured I needed to step up to the plate and take my shot at the radical left. So for today's episode, we have a few segments. First off, we've got The Week in Politics, where we'll be going over what has happened in the political realm over the past week or so. Then I've got our deep dive segment, which we shall go deep into the facts of a significant political topic or issue at hand, like gun control, abortion, or the LGBTQRSTUV, that war community, or whatever the hell that they are calling themselves now. Then we've got the rant, where I shall rant, as the name might suggest, about some Instagram post I found or some other random thing that is pointless, but I figured that I will rant to you people about it because I have anger issues. And finally, I have some PT for us. And no, we're not doing physical therapy or working out. It's political trivia, obviously. Yeah, filthy animals. So without further ado, here is The Week in Politics. Alrighty, folks, as you most likely have heard, unless you're living under a rock, honestly, the great Rush Limbaugh passed away this past Wednesday, and it was a truly sad day for conservative America when they tuned in to the radio station to hear their favorite commentator, but instead they hear his wife come on with the terrible news. And ironically, seeing as Rush Limbaugh truly believed in Christ and always said that he was talent on loan from God, he died on Ash Wednesday. Very same day, we are told by God to remember, man, that thou art dust, and unto dust thou shalt return. I personally did not listen to his radio show that much, but just a few times here and there, but I sure know my mom did, and she loved the guy. And honestly, guys, I am kicking myself in the ass right now for not listening to him. I did, though, read some of Rush's books, and those were fabulous. And so I would just like to dedicate this podcast to Rush and everything he did for the conservative movement, and would like to have a quick moment of silence for our fallen brother. And so, as I was on Instagram Thursday, looking through the stories and all this, and this liberal piece of absolute horse dung posted an Ask Me Anything answer to her Ask Me Anything thing that she posted a little while ago. And the question to this person would post was this. I, and the I's and all the stuff, all the proper nouns are all lowercase, which just irks me, just shows this person's dumb and lazy. So I don't know who this Rush Linguini is, but Trumpies are sad, and I think I'm confused. Rush Linguini, okay, come on. Like, this dude died, okay, just have the common decency, to maybe use his real name, all right? As this girl, whose story it was, replied, Rhubbard. Rhubar. I guess she's like trying to say like Rush or whatever. I honestly don't really know. She might be high. Rush Limbaugh was a cunt, and I hope he gets what he deserves. P, like this smiley face with your tongue sticking out. Wee! And she's holding up the peace sign with her fingers. And honestly, I don't know if you asked me about that, but that's not very peaceful thing to say. I hope this guy gets what he deserves and is a cunt. Like, come on, man. And this girl, honestly, one of my sort of friends, is all about loving everyone. Love everybody. Everyone is a beautiful human, and is a Jewish person as well. So, you would think that she's a kind person, but no, she has to go and crap on this dude who just died. Like, what the hell, man? And we see this not just with random people I'm sort of friends with, but with celebrities in the media too. On NBC, they said, Rush Limbaugh dies, man who Trump awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, known for his racist, homophobic, misogynistic remarks. Yes, you heard me right. Racist, homophobic, misogynistic remarks. His producer was a black man. How the hell is he a racist? That is my question. The leftists all the time. They call people racists when like black people are on their staff, when Asian people are on their staff. They call people racist who are black. Like, I don't know if you guys know the Hodge twins, but the left, they call them racists. They say they censor them for using the N-word, even though they're black. You know, I thought that black people were supposed to be able to use the N-word, whether you hear it all in rap music or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know, people. I don't know, man. And I know, honestly, it's more or less par for the course for people on the other side of the political aisle to laugh when the other person's guy or best guy dies. But, you know, still, in the words of the so-called savior of the world, Joe Biden, come on, man. Just come on, come on, man. Come on. I gotta go to bed. You're supposed to be the good guys, you know, left all saying, oh, we're the saints of everyone. Oh, we're so good. Or, yeah, well, but I don't think so, you know. So prove me wrong. Be the bigger man here, NBC. And you will never hear me stomping on the graves or mocking the death of anyone, whether they are right, left, center, whatever. But the left, they just have no problem stomping on the graves of people. It disgusts me. You know, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, almost all conservatives, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, to name a few, did not mock her death. They did not stomp on the graves. They did not roast the heck out of her. Like, these people have families and people who loved them and still love them, who they left behind and are grieving. And the left being so concerned about mental health, you know, you would think that they would not be doing things that would do detrimental things to someone's mental health. So just when you hear people calling their beloved a racist, bigot, homophobe, xenophobe, or all the other ists and phobes, just imagine that for a second. Imagine what that does to someone's mental health. Just ponder that for me. All right, so now in other news, NBC News. We're going back to the NBC, you know, the best news network, the peacock people who can honestly suck a peacock without the pee. Don't tell them I said that. But I honestly, maybe you should tell them I said that. I don't really care. So recently, they published an article on the topic of the sudden increase of ADHD diagnoses. So, ready to hear what the article says? All right. We are? Okay. We all good? We ready? We all prepared for this craziness? Okay. Well, it starts off with Susan McLaughlin's 12-year-old daughter, Isabella, was a straight-A student before the pandemic. Isabella, who lives in a suburb of Columbus, Ohio, excelled at science and math and was already getting high school credit for algebra. Oh, very smart. But when her school shut down in March and classes shifted to Zoom, Isabella's grades took a nosedive. Excuse me, let's hope I don't have COVID. She signed on for her virtual class from a desk piled high with books, papers, and stuffed animals, and then spent hours trying to clean her room instead of focusing on schoolwork. She found herself paralyzed by an assignment, McLaughlin said, but she wouldn't tell the teacher over email that she was struggling, as she would have done in person. All right, so end quote right there. So right here, we have the first problem of this entire article. You see, the girl didn't tell her teacher she was struggling. And I don't know about her, I don't know about you, but I know my teachers would be more than happy to help out a student who is struggling. You know, that's their job. That's kind of the reason they come to school. That's the reason that they get paid. They're paid to help students learn things. And being paralyzed by an assignment. Paralyzed by an assignment, man. I know my teachers, when they give me an assignment, I don't know how big it is. It doesn't paralyze me. But I know it's probably just a hyperbole, but, man, it must have been a pretty darn big assignment. All right. And so, continues saying, it was a meltdown after meltdown, said McLaughlin, 53, a mother of 3 from Delaware, Ohio, who works in a high school with chronically traunt children, right? End quote. So here, right here. It says that the mother has been diagnosed with ADHD already. All right. Or later on, it talks about how she's been diagnosed and has these medications and they've helped her out, good for her. But seeing as she works with chronically traumatized children as her job and as the condition, quote unquote, herself, one would reasonably assume that, she would be on the lookout for these, maybe almost wanting to see them in her child. So she would be predisposed to all this stuff. And she would already know all the symptoms and would honestly probably be a little bit scared or whatnot about seeing that in her child. All right. So it goes on saying, McLaughlin recalls one time in April when Isabella, who was already diagnosed with severe anxiety, was given a language arts assignment and fell to pieces. Oh, lordy, lordy. Again, you see, you're falling to pieces from an assignment. Ay, ay, ay. Isabella is being evaluated by a psychiatrist. Miss McLaughlin hopes that with an ADHD diagnosis, Isabella will be able to get a prescription for stimulant medications such as Ritalin, Adderall, or Vivacine, however the heck you say that, to alleviate her symptoms. All right, and here is probably a main problem with this article. All right, the mass drugging of kids. All right, we're just so comfortable, putting any and all drugs into kids to make them act normal. All right, but what is normal? All right, who gets to decide this so-called abstract thought of normal? Is it the white lab coat wearing scientists? Is it the politicians? Is it the teachers? Or is it the parents of the kids themselves? I don't know, but honestly, I personally think that in general, and general, as they say in Spanish, the parents should be the ones to decide what is normal behavior, no matter what the doctor says for their own kids. All right, but then again, you get the left over here when they're talking about LGBTQIAP, blah, 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 whatever the heck. Oh my God, they just have too many letters. Ay, ay, ay. They saying that, oh, nothing's normal. We got to break the normalcy bounds here, folks. We got to break the normalcy bounds. See, we got to combat the patriarchy. We got to feminism, guys. All this, third wave feminism. Oh my God. Woo! But then they're right here saying that to go back to normal. Stick to one line, please. Just it makes it easier for everyone if you just stick to one line. All right. And back to my point of saying that the parents should usually decide. With a mother like this, who is bent on drugging her kids, you kind of have another problem at hand. All right. And it's the undermining of natural kids' behaviors. Natural kid behaviors, if you look at the symptoms of ADHD, they're all the symptoms of ADHD. Alrighty. The article goes on and states the main symptoms, and it says that, quote, making careless mistakes, like in school, struggling to stay focused on tasks, having trouble organizing activities, not following through on instructions, avoiding schoolwork, losing items, and being easily distracted. But all of those are natural kid behaviors. You see the thing here, right? Tell me, what kid can actually sit in the classroom for 6 hours listening to teachers lecture about things they don't think are useful to them or important? Honestly, name one. I know I sure as hell can. And I'm honestly supposed to be one of the good kids, according to all my teachers. They're like, oh my God, you're so good. But yeah, this is just outrageous. Making careless mistakes on school and other projects are things that people do all the time. Adults, kids, teenagers, all make simple, careless mistakes. And that should not be a symptom for this ADHD disorder. I know that I sure as heck struggle staying focused on tasks, especially when those tasks involve, say, boring ass schoolwork. Avoiding schoolwork are things that every child has done throughout history. It is not something new. It is not something that will go away. It's just how things work. Everyone has done it. Everyone has witnessed it. If you have kids, you know every single one of your kids has avoided schoolwork at a time. There's just no way to say that this avoiding schoolwork should be a symptom of a disorder. Just meh. These people are losing their minds. Whew. And losing items and being easily distracted, honestly, are probably the most absolute stupidest symptoms they have on this list. I lose things every single day. And honestly, I am probably one of the most easily distracted peoples in the world. Just ask my mother. I don't know how many times I lose my sunglasses or my watch on any given day. Like just this morning, I was like, where the heck are my sunglasses? Ah! And they were like literally like right on my desk. So it just, nah. And I lose my phone. Before I even got on the radio, I lost my phone. I was like running around being like, oh, where's my phone? Where the heck is my phone? And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't lost my head. All right. Whew, back to the article, all right? COVID has been a tipping point that has pushed some families to get help, said Dr. Melvin Otis, Oatis, whatever, of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, who said the stress of the pandemic, the shift to remote learning and social isolation has created anxiety-provoking conditions that affect students' attention. And as many schools remain closed, some experts say that they were concerned about the long-term impact of remote learning for young people with ADHD, particularly teenagers. No shit, Sherlock. Of course, distance learning and these draconic lockdowns are going to have repercussions. Seriously, how on earth can you call yourself an expert of the mental health and whatnot if this is what you call your professional insider? I need water. Give me a hot sec. Beautiful water. Thank you guys for letting me have that break. All right. And oh my god, this is what you call professional insight. Seriously, my guy. Like, come on, Oatis. Step up your game, bro. All right. And with these lockdowns, they anxiety provoking, no, anxiety creating. Just look at the amount of suicides. Look at the suicide rate and how high it's gotten from these stupid lockdowns. Oh, there's a phone going on. Whatever. Hope you guys don't hear that. And honestly, compared to the suicide rate, COVID looks like a nice warm hug from your mama because it's just so non-comparable. Just the amount of deaths from COVID, to the death rate of suicides and COVID, it's just like insane, And honestly, folks, don't give me this bullcrap about long-term impacts when we're seeing those impacts right now. We see them everywhere in our school system, in the overall morale of students, which is shit, because we can't talk in our classes because we're on Zoom or 6 feet away. We're in these damn asses that don't do jack shit, and we can't annoy our teachers, like everybody's done, which is the most fun thing about school, by talking, spitballing them, because you got no people, because we have no people to talk to, and we can't plan these sorts of things. We can't have little secret meetings behind our teachers' backs to get the spitballs ready, get the spit out, and all that. And it's not like you can do any flirtatious gesture with a super hot girl that sits next to you, because there is no way of getting a prom date as well. And there is no prom to begin with. If I tried to do like a flirtatious gesture, honestly, to the really hot girl that sits next to me in math class, that would not really work out so well, because we are 6 feet away. We have these masks on, we can't talk to each other. It's not, and it's really hard to like doing like kind of faces, because you got the mask on, so you can't really see like your like little sly boy smile or whatever the heck. But honestly, I'm probably never gonna get a date, so just whatever. And this stuff absolutely kills the morale of these kids, myself included. I'm a high school student, and I'm feeling like shit half the time, which is honestly why I started this podcast, so I can let my anger out. And don't get me started on the equality of education right now, honestly, because we are learning literally nothing in our classes. Because we cannot function as we normally would with only seeing our teachers once a week, for those of us who are in hybrid model, and for those of us who are in the all online groups. Oh my god, I cannot tell you what they feel, but I sure as heck know that it is way worse than what I'm feeling right now. Oh my gosh. All right, do I want to continue with this? Seriously, do I want to continue with this article? Because this is just so blah. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I am kind of here for a little while. So, there's another kid in this article, an 18-year-old from California. Hey, yo, that's my state. Yo, the most crappy state in the world. Let's recall Gavin Newsom. We already got like more than enough signatures if all those signatures are good. And what's really funny about that, guys? I'm going to go on a little tangent here, but they're calling for signature verification on the stupid Gavin Newsom thing. But where the heck was that in the election. When us conservatives are over here talking about election integrity of the 2020 election, and we're saying, oh, we need these signature verification for all the votes, they're saying, oh no, don't question the election integrity because it's such a perfect system because Joe Biden won, and we all know that there's no way Trump was going to win. But honestly, tell me how the hell this sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe, as the wonderful Sean Hannity would say, who campaigned from his basement, if he even did any campaign, because he really honestly did not do that much campaign, did he get more votes than anyone in the entire history of the United States? How did he get more votes than Donald John Trump, the dude with the absolute most stamina ever? I'm putting on my MAGA hat right now because I'm just feeling so darn patriotic right now. Oh my gosh. It's just so stupid, the hypocrisy of the left. We see it everywhere, people. We see it everywhere. All right. So back to this dude from the cesspool of California. All right. So after he got his ADHD diagnosis, he said, I cried with relief. I've always been told I have high potential but low performance, and I don't know why. Now I have named the thing that I'm facing, as well as tools and resources to help me. And that was actually an accurate description of him, because I'm figuring that he sounds like that. But hey, dude, if you don't sound like that, I'm sorry, I guess. Yeah. But so what, dude? Come on, really? But seriously, honestly, you gonna blame this disorder, quote unquote, thing that you have on all of your problems? No. You need to man up. You need to face the music. Yes, you might have good potential, but you're just a little lazy prick. All right, get over it, man. And honestly, just the left, they do this all the time. They want to blame their problems. These lefties, they blame all their problems on something way out of their control, so they get to prance around and whatever they please with no accountability for their actions. And when they get the slightest bit of pushback, they can blame it all on Donald Trump. They can blame it all on COVID. They get to blame it all on their ADHD, which I'm honestly starting to question whether or not it's a valid excuse anymore of this ADHD thing. I'm starting to think maybe it might not be as valid, as real of a thing as we've been talking about, because what you see here, these symptoms are just all normal things. So this dude needs to get over it, man up, read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That'll whip his ass into shape, you filthy piece of grime. Yeah. So, man. And it's this no accountability thing that's honestly poisoning our society, and this lack of accountability, this victim mentality that everyone is having. And it's just, oh my gosh, people, we need to learn how to actually take accountability for our actions, because when you mess up, it's your fault. It's not your phone's fault. I don't know. It's not your mom's fault. It's not your dad's fault. No, it's your fault. You need to take extreme ownership, like Jocko Willink would say. Also, read Extreme Ownership, dude. Great book. There you go. I got your reading list already set up, bro. Oh my gosh. Woo! Breathe, Jack. Breathe. Wow, that was a lot. Okay. Alrighty. So, in other news, Texas is still locked in its primordial freeze frenzy, which has left countless of Texans without power. And I have a family friend who is out of power, and their power is on for 30 minutes and then off for 30 minutes. It's absolutely insane. However, people are finding new and inventive ways to deal with the cold. One group of kids decided to go skiing while attached to their truck. Yes, they got their little skis, they got a little rope, they attached it to the back of their truck, like Jeep or whatever, and then they just barreled down the highway. Honestly, I want to do that. It's not the brightest idea, but I want some of that action. Honestly, that looks hella fun. All right. And honestly, it looks like the freeze might go on for quite some time, and I am praying for them every night to stay safe, not from COVID, which has a 99.89% survival rate or something like that, and to stay warm. And honestly, folks, I think they need a little bit of that global warming stuff Greta Thunberg's been rambling about for however long. And honestly, how do you say her weird name? Is like Thunberg, Thumberberg. I don't even know, but hey, she's 18 now, so I can roast her. All right, we all good over here. We get to roast her. We get some Greta Thunberg roasters going on here. It also looks like a 2-year-old, but yeah. All right. And as I previously stated, the power is basically cut. And you know why that is? It's because 23% of Texas energy comes from wind turbines, and 12% of those are all completely shot. Which means a lot of people are without power because the government didn't purchase this freeze package or whatever they're talking about here. This company that supplied the wind turbines, and which I find honestly quite silly. These turbines should have already had the freeze package installed, but really, honestly, it boils down to the fact that they didn't use fossil fuels, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I am all for cleaner energy and a cleaner earth. I want a cleaner earth. I hate the fact that we have a trash pool the size of France in the Pacific Ocean, which is stupid. Like, come on, people, dispose of your stuff properly. Ay. All right. But the technology just isn't there with the green energy, and which is why, honestly, Joe Biden's draconic executive orders to ban fracking, cut the Keystone Pipeline are silly because we are not ready for that, guys. And honestly, how many executive orders has Joe Biden signed? How many? Like 38? How many has Donald Trump signed? A lot less than that in his first couple of days. They call Trump the dictator. Trump the dictator because he signed a couple executive orders and he said a few things that they didn't like. So Joe Biden's not the dictator over here. We're signing bajillions executive orders, not even know what he's signing. You know, you got the video clip of him saying, "Oh, what is this? I don't know what I'm signing, but hey, I'll sign it anyway because I'm Joe Biden. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just here. I've just been doing this for 52 years. I'm just here, just living my life, just not trying to do nothing, just taking money from the taxpayers, giving them nothing in return. Yeah, 'cause I'm Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah." Right, and Bill Gates over here is saying there's going to be a 30-year transition. All right, what are these workers who were working on the Keystone Pipeline, who were doing fracking, who are making a very good wage, mind you, are going to do for the next 30 years? Code, like Joe Biden said? Come on, guys. Come on, man. They could just code. Like, you go from, like, shoveling coal to coding. It's the same thing because I'm Joe Biden and I know everything. I know. They can't code. Working on a pipeline is a hell of a lot different than coding. So they can't be expected to go out and code. Now, what the heck, people? And just another tidbit of information. Elon Musk, you know him? Yeah, the Tesla guy, Mr. Green Energy. Yeah, he had to leave California because of radical green policies. Let that sink in, guys. Green Energy guy left Green Energy State because Green Energy State was too crazy about green energy. So he went to not so green energy state. Think, people. Yeah. All right. So if we had just stuck with the coal, the fossil fuels, you know, the oil, the petroleums, the the natural gases, you know, we might not have had this power outage. All right. But as you know, Mother Nature, she's relentless. So we very well might have had the same problem. But I would think on a much smaller scale. So, all in all, green energy is a good idea. But it just ain't there, folks. Just ain't. Fact check. Alrighty, so I know I just said that the Texas freeze might be lasting a little while longer, but new information came up after I finished recording that segment, and it looks like we are on the tail end of the freeze, as temperatures have just rose above freezing for the first time as I am recording this. But as we all know, it ain't over till it's over. Woo! Alrighty, that was a little bit of a doozy last there. I got a little bit worked up. We're going to try to rein it back in, Jack. Rein it back in. All right. All right, man, do I have a topic for you today. We will be going over the wonderful, glorious new Tennessee's pro-life bill. Bill SB 0494. All right, quick little background on the bill. It was introduced by State Senator Mark Pody and passed Thursday the 11th. And if the bill passes the governor, then it will go into effect on July 1st. All right, so let's get into what the bill actually says here. All right, Senate Bill 494 by Pody, an act to amend Tennessee Code annotated Title 24, Title 29, Title 36, 39, and Title 68, Chapter 3, relative to abortion. Be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, Section 1, Tennessee Code, annotated Title 36, Chapter 2 is amended by adding the following as a new part. A person may petition a court with jurisdiction over domestic relations matters to request an injunction to prohibit a woman who is pregnant with the person's unborn child from attaining an abortion. Value for a petition filed pursuant to this section in the county in which the respondent resides, or if the respondent is not a resident of the state, the county in which the petitioner resides, the court shall cause a copy of the petition and notice of the date set for the hearing on such petition to be served upon the respondent at least 5 days prior to such hearing. Within 14 days of the petition being filled, the court shall hold a hearing at which both parties may present evidence. The court shall issue the injunction if the court finds that the petitioner has proven that 1. The petitioner is the biological father of the respondent's unborn child. 2. There's a reasonably probability that the respondent will seek an abortion prior to giving birth to the unborn child. And 3. If the parties are not married, the petitioner has executed a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity pursuant to 68-3-305F that is not subject to being rescinded. The voluntary acknowledgement of paternity must be proven by filing a certified copy with the court. This section does not require the petitioner to provide DNA evidence to prove that the petitioner is the biological father of the respondent's unborn child. An injunction issued pursuant to this part shall prohibit the respondent from seeking or obtaining an abortion. If the respondent has been served with a copy of the petition and notice of the hearing, an injunction is effective when entered. For purposes of this section, an injunction is considered entered when signed by the judge, all parties or counsel, the judge, and one party or counsel, and contains a certificate of counsel. A copy can be proposed. Order has been served on all other parties or counsels. The judge and contains a certificate of the clerk that a copy has been served on all other parties or counsel. And as used in this subsection F, service upon a party or counsel must be made by delivering the party or counsel a copy of the injunction, or by the clerk mailing the injunction to the party's last known address. In the event the party's last known address is unknown and cannot be asserted upon diligent inquiry, the certificate of service much so state. Service by mail is completed upon mailing. In order to complete services of process in a timely manner on a party who lives outside the county where the order was issued, the clerk may transmit the order to the sheriff in the appropriate county by facsimile or other electronic transmission. Notwithstanding, when an injunction is considered entered under this subsection E, if the court finds that the protection of the petitioner's unborn child so requires, the court may order in the manner provided by law or rule that the injunction take effect immediately. Upon violation of an injunction issued pursuant to this section, the court may hold the respondent in civil or criminal contempt and punish the respondent in accordance with the law. Section 2, Tennessee Code, blah, 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 is amended by adding the following new subsection. A person may execute a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity for the purpose of seeking an injunction pursuant to 36-2-101 prior to the birth of the person's child. The voluntary acknowledgement of paternity may be executed without the signature of the child's mother. Voluntary acknowledgement of paternity for the purpose of seeking an injunction pursuant to 36-2-101 must not result in the father's name, surname, or information being entered on the child's birth certificate unless the acknowledgement is subsequently signed by the mother of the child and filled pursuant to subsection B. Section 3, Tennessee Code, annotated section blah, 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 is amended by deleting the language, a signatory to a voluntary acknowledgement shall be permitted to rescind the voluntary acknowledgement of either of, and substituting, except as provided by subsection I, a signatory to a voluntary acknowledgement shall be permitted to rescind the voluntary acknowledgement at the earlier of. Section 4, last two sections, guys, Tennessee Code annotated is section 24-7-113 is amended by deleting the language 68-3-305B and substituting 68-3-305B or F whenever it applies. Section 5, guys, last section, we're almost done. Tennessee Code annotated section 27-7-113 is amended by adding the following new subsection I. Notwithstanding this section to the contrary, a person who executes a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity for the purpose of seeking an injunction pursuant to 36-2-101 shall not rescind or challenge the voluntary acknowledgement of paternity under any circumstances, including on basis of fraud, duress, or maternal mistake of fact. Section 6. This act takes effect July 1st, 2021, the public welfare requiring it. Alrighty. So that was the bill. You can find it in the description of the YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. Alrighty, so what now is this bill saying? As you heard, it's a lot of lawyery language here, but I'm going to try to break it down for you guys the best I can. So, generally speaking, the father can call off an abortion or bar his wife or significant other for those who don't want to wait and need a little action before, those people who just couldn't wait to have the nasties before they got married because they're unholy. Uh, however, he is required to prove probability of the mother performing an abortion and him being the actual father within 14 days. But, hopefully that's plenty of time. Honestly, that should be plenty of time, I'm hoping. And as you may know, there were 619,591 abortions reported to the CDC in 2016, which is obviously 619,591 too many. Back to the bill. If the woman was to actually violate the injunction and still go along with the abortion because it's a baby killing prick, the court may hold the respondent in civil or criminal contempt and punish the respondent in accordance with the law, as I stated while I was reading the bill. So any baby killers out there, y'all can go home. There ain't no way around this. Woo! I personally hope that we can get as many states as possible to adopt these glorious bills. Bills which can also help sticking it to the so-called President Joe Biden. And I don't mean so-called as any one fraud, because I can't say that here. But I can say he is a lying, creepy, sleepy, hair-sniffing son of a... You know what? I'm not going to say that. Son of a... guys, So, a while back, as you may have heard, Biden was on another executive order signing spree, and as he called Trump a dictator, as I have said earlier in the podcast, he's already signed like 38 EOs as I'm writing this. This particular EO was, as he said, to undo the damage Trump has done, which, as we all know, was only to the establishment media regarding Trump's cutting of the funding to foreign nonprofit organizations that fund or support abortion. As any sane, rational person would assume, the eliminating of funding to those organizations is not only the right thing to do, but it's also respectful to the pro-life taxpayers who don't want their money to go to some Arabian abortion clinic. And with Biden's reversal of this, we can go right back to supporting the disgusting abortion clinics in Arab places and Muslim places. Yes. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point, guys. I think I'm on drugs. I'm not actually on drugs, don't worry. I'm just saying that. Yeah. And so while we're on abortion, I just recently started watching Last Man Standing because I have nothing better to do with all the damn time COVID's given us. And Mike's daughter, Kristen, did she get an abortion? No. So all you blue-haired leftists who love their Hollywood TV shows can take a page out of Christian books and don't get the damn abortion. Oh my gosh, these people. Whew. Man, I feel like I'm saying that at the start of every segment here. Alrighty. So, first off with this rant, I just wanted to quickly go over the Army's new combat fitness test events. Alright. This is going to be funny. Alright, now someone who's looking to join the military, I want to see what's going on. So, let's take a look, shall we? Alright, so first off, we have a max out 3-rep hex deadlift, right? That's not a standard deadlift, but a hex deadlift, where you can statistically lift more than the weight. More weight. Lift more. Yes, that is right. That is how you speak words, Jack. Because the weight is more evenly distributed because you're in a hexagon, hence the name hex deadlift. All right, so my question is, will the weight be so evenly distributed in the field when Sergeant Bill gets hit? No. So why are they training with this easier deadlift? They're going to need to use the different form to do the actual deadlift in order to lift up the person that they're trying to carry, which in the website, in the Army website, that's what they say the deadlift is for. It says it right here. Lifting and moving heavy loads from the ground, personnel and equipment, extracting a casualty on a litter. So why are we going to practice with this thing that's probably not, you're not going to be lifting up from your sides if you're lifting up, but, honestly, the sides thing, if you're lifting up a stretcher, yes, I get that. But what's more likely going to happen is you're going to need to carry him a little bit of the ways. You're going to need to get him, distract him from the little house while y'all being shot at. So that's my opinion on that. All right, and I'll say this should train at the optimum, most craziness level of discomfort with the most realisticness, which is what the real world is like. And is realisticness a word? I don't know. All right. All right, then we got the standing power throw using a 10-pound medicine ball where you just like squat down, you pick up this ball and then you throw it as far as you can behind your back, and that's all fine and dandy. Don't really got too much an issue with that. All right, then we got the hand release push-ups, doing as many as you can for 2 minutes. And I like that. Honestly, you get some explosive power in there, and that's always good. Because you always need more explosive power for what they're trying to get you to do here. So, yeah, it says it literally right here. Moving obstacles, pushing an opponent away during a man-to-man contact, pushing a disabled vehicle, getting to and from the ground during evasion and maneuver, reaching out from the prone position when shooting, taking cover, or low crawling. You need explosive power for that. So, again, also don't really have too much power with that. All right. Then is a sprint drag carry. And again, no real problem with it. A lot of these really don't got a problem with. But, then comes the leg tuck. That thing. That thing is very hard. I've tried it. That is not a very difficult exercise. That is not a very difficult exercise. No, it's a very difficult exercise. And if you can't do it, you can opt out of it and you do a 2-minute plank. I would do a 2-minute plank for you guys right now, but we're not on video right now, so yeah. But honestly, I would second I go on video, all right, second I get a video camera, second I got the money for that kind of stuff, I will do a 2-minute plank for you guys, all right? Hold me to that. I will do a 2-minute plank for you guys, and I will do it easily, all right? So, and I can do it after like a full core workout. Like planks are nothing. Right? Planks are the least difficult exercise conceivable by man, in my opinion. All right. So why are they giving you the option? You might ask. To make it more inclusive, so men and women can have the same standards. The hell. No, men and women should not be having the same standards. Right? Women, in my opinion, in general, again, in general, women honestly should not be in war. But if they want to, by all means, do. Go to war, fight for our freedom. I love you for it. All right. But comes caveat, don't become crime to me. When you get shot in the leg, you still have to run 2 miles of safety. All right. And speaking of 2 miles, well, actually, there's a 2-mile run. I think they shall get shot in the leg before they do it. No, actually, don't do that. I'm not advocating violence. That is nothing. That's not something I'd ever do. No, folks. All right. And I'll say 2-mile run, that's a good distance. And I will say as a cross-country athlete running anywhere from like 5 to 9 miles a day. All right. That's a quality distance if you're doing kind of a sprint thing here. Especially if you got weight on. Like, that's going to be rough, man. And so overall, these are some good exercise. Except, obviously, the replacement ones if you're too weak to handle the real ones. Because, like, come on, dude. Like, man up. Oh, wait. So, I can't say man up. Soldier up, Take it like a man. Nope. Take it like a soldier. Take it like a soldier, Be a true soldier, But, again, the thing is, it's the amount of reps and the amount of time for the exercise. 140 to 330-pound deadlift. 4.5 to 2.5 meter medicine ball throw. Again, guys, this looks like a really short. 10 to 60 push-ups. 33 minutes to 133 seconds to get a total of 25 meters with 175 pounds on the sprint drag carry. Only 1 to 20 leg tucks. 1 to 20. Yeah, you heard me. 1 is the minimum standard. 21 minutes to 13 minutes 30 seconds for a 2-mile run. Again, like 21 minutes is like my 3.5-mile time. Like, but you got some slow people, you got some really beefy guys, they're like blah, 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 you got those big bodybuilders, those bodybuilders, those Norwegians. So what are these standards, guys? All right, the Navy SEALs would be running circles around these losers. All right, if you're doing the minimum, you're a loser. In my book, you're a literal loser. I can run circles around you, folks. These minimum standards are a joke. Honestly, if you're getting the minimum, I do not want to go to war with you. I do not want you fighting for this country. All right, because if I need you to do something even remotely physical, you're dead. All right, let's just come on, people. Let's try to do a little bit better here. All right, so let's see. Do I want to do some Instagram posts for you guys? All right, because I did find some kind of crazy ones here. So do we want to look at them, guys? Do we want to look at them? It's from like this feminist account that some of my friends follow. All right, so yes, I'm hearing a resounding yes here that we want to do it. Alrighty. So Here we are. First up, we got a post that someone posted on their story. Things to not joke about. Alrighty. I'm gonna make jokes about every single one of these guys. So, warning. Trigger warning, guys. Safe space is not a safe space. Really, safe space should be a thing, but people need these safe spaces because they're little snowflakes, little social justice warriors. Now, social justice snowflakes. That's what you are. You're not a warrior. You're a snowflake. If I touch you, you melt. That's how it works. Alrighty. So things to not joke about: depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, PTSD, cancer, panic attacks, autism, OCD, people who have died, disabilities, rape, suicide. Okay. That was fast and dirty of all of them. So depression, okay. People make just these things. People make jokes about these all the time, right? People who have died. All right. Graveyard humor. You're going to tell me I can't have my graveyard humor. You're going to tell all the servicemen and women that they can't do graveyard humor because it hurts you or whatever. It hurts you, monk nation. That's the Instagram account thing that posted this stupid thing, right? Like people, military men and women, police officers. I know my brother, he's an EMT now, paramedic. We joke about people that he's seen, like dead people, all the time. There's one dude, warning, if you're kind of like a little squeamish, might want to turn me down for a little minute or so. Yeah, this dude was hiking and a rock fell on his head while he was hiking. All right. And it was the most hilarious thing because he basically kind of did it himself. He kind of dropped a rock on his head. He hit a little thing and just plunked on his head. And my brother had to go and pick up the rock and he saw a squash. Man, it was like a little squirrel who just got run over on the highway. Like, the licky. All right. Yeah, it's just like these things. Comedy is supposed to touch on the things that all other things can't touch on. That's what comedy is. And you got people in Canada, people in Great Britain getting censored, canceled, thrown in jail even for making jokes about things that you shouldn't joke about. Things on this list, honestly. And it's just absolutely insane. The craziness of thisness. Yes, guys, we need some help here, people. All right, do we want another one? Okay, here's another one. Menstruation doesn't belong to any one gender, all right? And this is from Feminist, all right? This one here is a picture of a man. He looks like he'd be black, I'm assuming. African American, all right? It's like all pinky like grapefruit red. There we go. That's the color of it, people. All right. He has his shirt off. He's got short shorts, trying to be transgender, I would assume. All right, menstruation, and then obviously in the caption, it says menstruation doesn't belong to any one gender. Yes, it does. Men cannot menstruate. I know it says men in the name, but men cannot menstruate, people. This is insanity. Like, I am a man. I am incapable of menstruating. If I think I am a woman, I am incapable of menstruating. I am still a biological man. I am still a man because men cannot be women. There are two genders and all of that gloriousness. But I will not get into that. I will say that for a later deep dive segment or whatever when I talk about the LGBTQIA peoples. And this just irks me, people. The fact that this has 76,094 likes. Right? This account has 6.3 million followers. Yeah, and 5 of the people I follow are following this account. Wow. Who'd have thunk? Well, this is just crazy, people. This is just absolutely crazy. And I am done with this stupidness. And you know what? Feminism, people, you who want to cancel us, well, guess what? I am canceling you. You're canceled. Peace. Hello. Hello, people. Are we ready for some political trivia? Woo! Alrighty, we ready, folks. We ready. I know I am. Woo! All right. Okay, so today's political trivia will revolve around the wonderful, glorious Rush Limbaugh in light of his tragic death on February 17th. So, if you're following me on Instagram, you'll know that he got me started on the path to conservatism with his books, especially Rush Revere and the Presidency, which my mom gave me when I was like 11 for one Christmas. Oh my god, those are great books. Thank you, Mom. Love you. You're amazing. I will be definitely reading them, the rest of them, when I have done with this. All right. So, all right. Yes, trivia. That's what we're doing here. Okay. So, first question of the day is, what was Rush's first book he ever published? Alrighty, let's think about this. Let's think. All right. Wait, I don't have the rights for that. Probably shouldn't be doing that because I do not want to be doing things that I have the not the right one, because I don't want to be like sued on my first ever episode here. All right. So the answer is, are we ready for the answer? All right, everyone got their answers locked in. All right. The answer is The Way Things Ought to Be. The Way Things Ought to Be. Originally published in 1992, then republished in 93. This book, clocking in at around 315 pages, earned a superb 4.6 out of 5 stars on audible.com, 4.6 out of 5 on the Conservative Book Club, and 3.6 on Goodreads. Very bravo, Rush Limbaugh. Those of you who got it right, 1 point to you. All right. Woo. Alrighty, question 2. You ready? Alrighty, it is, when did Rush first start his radio talk show? Alrighty, I need to think of a new song to use because we can't do that. Right? Let's see, so I got my guitar over here. You want to hear some like good quality guitar, right? I don't know if you guys hear that. Quality guitar going. Alrighty. Alright, so the answer is August 1st. Contracted by EMF Media Management. He was syndicated August 1st, 1998 in Sacramento, California. And after just 2 years, his show is reaching around 5 million listeners. Like, gosh darn it, dude. I want to be reaching 5 million listeners after 2 years of doing this podcast. By the way, please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. I would really appreciate it. I love you folks. Alrighty, now for the last question. By the way, those of you who got that right, 1 point to you. All right, for the last question, it is worth 10 million points. Can you name 5 guests that he had on his show? That is the question, folks, because that is what I asked you. So yeah, I really hope that you guys are liking this. Let me know, honestly, if you like this political trivia, because I'm gonna try to do one of these like more fun segments. My grandma would be like kicking me right now if she's listening to this. Grandma, sorry for saying funner, but it's more funner to say funner. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas for like funny segments that I think would, yeah. So yeah, alrighty. Back to the answers. All right, you got your 5 guesses, right? We're gonna do a little bit more thinky time. Thinky. Alrighty, time is up. So some of the answers could have been former President George H.W. Bush, who appeared 6 times, my man Donald J. Trump. Charlton Heston, then California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, a day after calling him irrelevant. Like, man, talk about relevant. Like, you're going on a show, you would think he's relevant, dude. Like, bruh. Hear my pen whacking because I'm crazy. I'm a psycho. Alrighty. Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld. Maybe Donald Trump and Donald Rumsfeld can go and rum up some fields, yo. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. And unsuccessful Supreme Court nominee Robert Bork. Economist Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell. Former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan. I wonder how green his span is. I know, I'm just totally like doing the most driest jokes ever. But if one person laughs, I'm all down. All right, and finally, television writer Joe Cernow. Are just a few of the many guests and famous callers to be on the Rush Limbaugh show. All right, and random thought, like back like a little while ago, like not when he was like super old, but like I don't know, like 10 to 20 years ago, he kind of looked like Brian Stelter from reliable sources, quote unquote reliable sources, like more like unreliable sources. We all know the truth here. CNN, terrible. All right. But yeah, like he like why does he like remind me of Brian freaking Stelter? Why does he remind me of him? I don't know. I think I'm just high on drugs. And that's it for today's PT. But let's always remember what Rush did for all of us. He gave us all a voice. He gave every single conservative media person a voice. He brought back AM radio to conservatives. He gave all conservative podcasters, YouTubers a voice. He was just an absolute amazing person. Woo! Man, guys, I don't know about you. I had a really fun time making this podcast. I noticed like just now it's like a 55-minute podcast. If you have stuck with me to the end of this thing, thank you. I absolutely love you. I was honestly not expecting it to be this long. We'll see. Let me know if this hour thing is good. If you wanted me to like cut it down to 30 minutes, I can do that. If you want me to take out a segment, if you want it to be more, you want me to go 23, you want me to go with like 3 hours, like freaking Rush Limbaugh being amazing. But yeah, so just please make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't on YouTube. And if you're watching on Spotify, follow me on Spotify, on Instagram, at the Jack Ryan Show, so we can help combat this leftist mob. I really appreciate it, guys. I love each and every one of you that are listening. Like, I love you people. You're amazing. So see you all next time on the Jack Ryan Show.